tell a little bit about like why you're here? As in, maybe it's just a curiosity, maybe it's a little bit more about your story or whatever you want to share about. Like, why this? Why are you here?
The invitation. You can
The
send me
invitation.
the invitation. Like, do you want to try this new thing with me?
Yeah.
And you asked me what my goal would be. And when I dive into that, the first thing that comes up is like more energy, more streaming through me, no blocks, more energy, more money as well. Could come flooding in. That would be great. Something is blocking all that. And I've been looking for reasons and for what is it that it's blocking me for years and years and years. And I'm still looking for that. So
Hmm.
I would like to bring that to the table
Beautiful.
today. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's on the table.
Cool.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And yeah, I don't even know what today will bring. I don't even know. Like, we'll see. We'll see. And this is why you're here. And okay, so just right now, if you cannot go back to the past and cannot go forth into the future, what is here?
Me sitting here with you.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And a connection. It's so cool to just be here with you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah. Okay, so just you here with me in the connection. And I'm like at this moment I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what to ask.
I have thousand questions, but none today.
It's not a static thing, right? I call them the
Mm.
end game questions as if it's like a method or anything. But like I don't even know in that sense as in there is just something coming or not, and we'll see
Mm-hmm.
what's happening right like right now because I'm not like, oh, then I got to do this and this and this, right? um so here, like, what are you without even the me that you named?
It feels like just being here, awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can kind of go everywhere, leave my body in my awareness, meet everything that's around here, be everywhere, be here, choose. I can choose where I want to pay my attention to. So, where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And like awareness, for example, is a concept, right? Because like a baby wouldn't probably say awareness because it doesn't know the concept. So this concept is already in that sense coming from the past, right? And of course we got to use some kind of language so I get it, but sorry. In that sense, even awareness is a thought. It's a concept. It's coming from thoughts, and it is connected to the past because we've heard, oh, what we are is awareness, right? Something like that, or about awareness, about that concept. So if you cannot go back to the past and cannot go forth into the future, um, what we do with our thoughts, right? Because if you
Mm-hmm.
cannot do that, is there like is there even, let's start there, right? Is there even a past and a future here now? If you cannot use your thoughts, is it here now? Is there a past? Is there a future? No.
No, then awareness is indeed a very empty concept, just a
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Totally. Totally. When you say awareness, I'm like, what is that even?
What is that even?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. If I'm here and now, if I'm just here and now without any thoughts, is then being, yeah, then awareness comes again. Like I'm
Yeah.
aware of something.
Yeah.
But what am I aware of? Of this presence, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even that is a concept. They're all words,
Yeah.
just made up.
Yeah. It's just words.
Just words, because it's all made up.
Yeah. Uh,
And
we have to describe because of we use
yeah,
language. If we
yeah,
don't need that, we can just communicate telepathically. I can show you
yeah,
what I feel right now or where I am. That's
yeah,
easier because that gives it, yeah, exposes it better than when I try to describe is concising things,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
you're not using the right words. But if you can just show
yeah,
or share the feeling, then you're way more one with everything. That's the way trees and animals communicate, right? Just sharing.
doesn't seem like there are words in between, right? Yeah, yeah. So before we dive in further, like if we cannot go to the past and if we cannot go to the future with our thoughts, then there seems to be no past and future, right? Because can you access it without that
No, you can just get up and move, but then you just move in the now.
in the now? Yeah,
It's, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So even though it feels very real, what I did yesterday, the only reason why you can
Mm.
get to that is because of your thoughts. And the thoughts are made up. It's just a bunch of it's 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 a sandcastle in that sense, right? It's like going into the sandcastle of the mind, um, which can be useful if you got to calculate something. But if you go to that sandcastle and from there go on to the horse, which is the thought, it's all made up in that sense, right?
And
Um,
that's where the suffering comes from, isn't it? Going over and over and over and over of all the thoughts we thought in the past. Yeah.
Wow, there's such clarity here with you because, right? If you see that
Mm-hmm.
this is all made up, that with your thoughts you go there, then is there suffering in the now?
Yeah, no. Not here right now. I'm not
Okay.
under a stone crushed or something, I'm not in a dangerous situation. I'm just sitting here, so no
Yeah,
danger here. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So what if the suffering comes in when we go into that sandcastle and with the thoughts go back on that thought horse, so to say, from the sandcastle into the whole dream, because it's very much like a dream you have at night, right? And we go back to the past and we go first into the future. But without that, is there suffering? Can there be suffering now?
If you are in some um, torture chamber in that moment,
I can imagine then that they're suffering.
mm,
Yeah, yeah. But talking about like
right?
the
Yeah.
psychological suffering and the existential suffering that can be here, or like mental, emotional in that sense, all that stuff. Like look at a baby, right? And look at an adult. Like a baby is just it can cry really intensely, but then there can be a bird flying by and it's like, oh, right? The crying is over apparently because there's just a flow and things change very fast. It's not lingering onto it because the baby, especially one before language, right? The one that doesn't know language and words yet, it doesn't go to the past. It doesn't go to, oh yeah, I have to cry because this and this and this happened, right? We create that because we go back. Because a
Mhm.
child doesn't do that as in a young child, right? Because it's only here in the now.
Yeah.
And then as adults, we have this belief, um, I'm, for example, I'm going through a divorce. So I have to, right? I have to feel certain things, or it should be different, and it should be different. That belief, like, is like makes you hold on to pain, to whatever, right? It's like it's because you go back to what happened. But if there's we know now, right, that we in the
Mhm.
now there is no past and there is no future. So if you just don't do that, if you don't go into that mind jail in that sense, right, then what's here can be still tears, but that can be very similar as a child. It's just crying, and then it's done. When the crying is done,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to
Mhm.
go on for months and months and months, like with some adults, right? And also with me, like in relationship when they were over or when they tend to stop, I did the most crazy things to be able to hold on to it. And then when it stopped, I suffered.
Yeah.
But it came from me going back to that sandcastle.
And
Because what is
all the
here now?
concepts. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But we can talk about this, and yet it can also be like it can also be just words. So what is in between words and no words?
It's uh, an on itself friendly space. And if you try to find words, then this contraction happens, and there's like effort, and there's, yeah, pressure. And if you let go of the need of using words, then it opens again and it's friendly and spacious. That's how
Yeah.
it feels for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Friendly and spacious. Yeah.
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 And what is in between space and no space?
Let me grasp that.
Can you
It's
even?
like
Right?
I it's like like yeah, yeah.
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 I don't know the answer because it would just be a word.
Yeah.
Yet, how is it in this that we cannot even name? How does it feel?
If there's a word, it would be peaceful. Silence. Uh, And also something like it's all good. All is good, all is well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Mm.
That's why I call it a peace of mind session. And it's not even that. Because is
Mm.
there a mind here? Is there really like? Is there a mind like
It's like the mind is also peaceful, like in a hammock or something. It's not like asleep,
in
but
in a hammock?
not bothering. Yeah,
Mm.
like having a good time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Living its best life.
Living
Yeah.
its best life. Yeah, because it was so it could be so active, right? The mind can be really active, but in this in between, the mind just like let a beautiful word. I'm just going to chill out in the hammock. I cannot figure it out anymore. And you're like, whoa, but this is like super peaceful.
Yeah,
Whatever word we give to it,
yeah.
because can we even name this? Right? Yeah.
It's also like nothing can disturb this, really. It's
Mm-hmm.
my choice to bring my mind out of the hammock and interfere and judge and do all kind of stuff with whatever tries to interfere it. And if something tries to interfere it, it's like I'm not bothered. Something like that, whatever.
Not bothered.
It's not important. It feels like that, like
Mm.
nothing can disturb this peace, really.
Yeah.
Wow. Ah.
Yeah. So Marilyn, what if this is it? What if this is it? Right? Whatever that means also, right? Yeah. What's happening?
Can we yeah, I'm wondering. Maybe my mind came out of
Yeah,
its
yeah, the
hammock.
mind's like now.
I'm
Oh,
wondering.
but if this is it, we gotta
Yes,
search for something,
yes.
right? Because we've been going on with it on this road for like what's your age?
57. 57
57.
years. My mind has
57.
been busy.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I just I want to keep my job, right? Maybe it's like, but yeah, what in a kind of sense, what if it could just stay, what if it, you know, whatever I wanted to go with the hammock and everything. What if this is it? Right?
Hmm. The question is, can you live this way? Like if you are in the supermarket among people, can you just be like this? Yeah, yeah, I think you can. Yes, mind, we can. uh,
Yeah. You know,
yeah,
there can be a
wow.
collaboration, right? Because there's nothing wrong with the
Yeah.
mind. It's just that it only gets you so far. Because with the mind, the it like it can be, oh, I gotta do this, and then there's freedom, then there's peace, then there is whatever, right? And that can go on and on and on. The whole seeking game, whatever it is that you seek, right? It could go on and on and on because when you get there, it's like, oh, now there's the next, right? Because in the future, it is just in the future, and it is in that sense also in a dreamy castle, like a light, an how do you call that? Like a sand castle. Yeah, I call it a sand castle, but
Mm.
whatever, right? A
Mm.
dreamy castle, like it
Castle in the clouds, something like that.
thoughts in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Castle in the clouds.
a castle in the
Mm.
clouds. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I
Right?
actually
That's what
mean
I
with a
see
sand
them.
castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Sand
Yeah.
castle is just not, I think, the most fitting word for it. Um, So anyway, I seem to be learning also here, and yet essentially, is there even anything to learn? Is there anything to seek if this this piece is already it, and it was
Mm-hmm.
staring me and staring you in the face all the time in all these years, and yet we were here. We like it seemed like there was something missing. But what if this that is longing for this is already this? This that seemed to miss this is already this. What if it's already this, but we just couldn't find it because we tried to do it from here?
Yeah, if you kind of, it feels like you you sink in. I am perceiving the world through my eyes, but kind of from a more lower space in my body. And whatever happens is there just as an experience, not as something to figure out, just as something to experience. Yeah, yeah,
Amazing, right?
yeah, yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah.
So so even the thought, oh, can you live like this, right? Is can be a wondering, and it can also be the mind being like, oh, but how about the future? But is there a future really? Right? Because there's only now. So that is already a thought that with that goes away from what is actually here. It's just a thought. It's just a
Mm.
yeah.
And it's conditioning. It's like, I think it's like I hear my dad talk about responsibilities, those things. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Responsibilities. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There will be problems and you have to find solutions. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. Yeah.
Yeah. And what if like with many things now and also with this about responsibilities, I cannot say that it is yes, that it is true, or that it is like no, like it's not true, because it seems to be here and it seems not to be here, right? It seems kind of true and it seems kind of not true, because because there's this coming from the absolute, this that we cannot even talk about, and we're in the relative world, a very in that sense practical world where we don't want to do also practical things, talking about money, talking about responsibilities, talking about these things. Yet there is something that is so, and we can do whatever we want in that sense, right? um we can just choose where to move to and be like, oh, I want to take that responsibility, or I don't want to take that responsibility. If we do or don't, there is something not touched, right? You said like there's it seems to be not touched by all of it. Something like that you said. Yeah. So whatever we do, how much does it matter in the end? Or the end also involves the future. How much does it matter now, right? Like I see myself now going like future, like yeah. And how does that feel, right?
It's like in the moment you make your choice. Do I feel I need to do something or not? And then the choices are very simple, here and now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
simple. It was all along
Yeah.
so simple.
Yeah.
And it was just this one with the made up thoughts that made it so complicated. But the complications, in that sense, can dissolve
Yeah. Yeah. Completely.
because it was all thought, all the beliefs, everything you hold on to, right? Everything that we try to grasp, that we try to or do, like that we must do, or that we, right? Even like the need, I need to. You said also something like that. That is just a belief. It's all a mind fart, which we call a thought. It's just a fart in the wind. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we believe the farts, we keep running around, following all the farts,
Yeah.
which dissolve in the wind. So we keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
mm,
So what happened, like when there's no need in that sense to take it that serious anymore? What then?
mm. The word that comes up is freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like total freedom. Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's here,
Yeah.
Marilyn. Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing? Does it feel like it's here?
It's like opening, breaking away all restrictions, opening up, and huge consequences. Like everything changes if you step into this. Yeah. And it goes on and on. The motion is like this, like whoop, and then deeper whoop,
Whoop.
deeper whoop, whoop. Yeah, whoop. That sound
That's a good word for it.
is
It's just a whoop.
involved. It's
It's
just
just a
whoop.
whoop, man. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's just a whoop. We we just like to go whoop. Whoop whoop whoop.
Yeah, we create our own language. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, but this is like it goes on and on, this movement, and it's like freeing up so much space. And like clearing out all kind of concepts and thoughts and worries. It's just happening in this moment, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's just thoughts, that's just worries for the future, and pain from the past, and pain from the past translated to more pain in the future, and all that. And
Yeah.
it keeps clearing that out. Yeah, that's a big transformation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and in that sense, you can let go of the past and of all the pain from the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
It was then, now is now.
It was
That
all a
kind
mind
of,
fart.
yes.
The face you made after mind fart was like on spot. Like it was perfect.
I didn't see it. I was watching the trees here, like, are you agreeing here?
Arr.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So right, like when you say this, like what sense in that context, like does personal development make? That there is something to develop, right? because you say like, yeah, all that stuff from the past, like we kind of created, like almost like we projected on the now, because there was something that we really have to work on, right? Because we felt something, and but does it make sense still? Like the whole personal development game?
I don't know what it is, development. What I do in my sessions is going to the past and letting go. And now it goes more automatically. You don't have to really address all the different things or
Yeah,
individually. Um, yeah, I don't know what
yeah,
development is in a
yeah.
sense.
Because the development just comes from like that there is something to develop. But if this is it, if it's already here, what is there to develop?
Then it's like a chain. If you're here and the next thing happens and the next thing happens and the next thing happens, but you keep staying in this now, there may be a development happening over time and it's not forced or it's not planned.
But is there
It's just
time?
happening.
It seems to be there, it seems to be really real, but can you access time? Can you access the past and the future right now?
And it's just a concept here in 3D, isn't it? Mm,
Whatever we call
yeah.
it. But I cannot, the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why I can access the past and the future is through thoughts. And the
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, they're empty. It's just a thought, just made up. Like all the concepts and all the beliefs and whatever, the whole bunch that I seem to be carrying with me and that I have to develop into my future self or whatever, right? And the whole backpack full of trauma that I had to, I believed that I had to heal, that I had to do all certain things. But that's just a belief. And yes, when this hit it me, it shattered in a sense the whole world that I was holding on to. And even like I had, right, the tide changing method sounds really cool, and I I worked with that, and I know that also it helped people to, if it's a staircase, to set a step, to go to the next step. But that staircase could go on and on and on and on. Does it ever end? Because there's always something coming up seemingly that you have to work on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trauma, pain from the past, whatever, right? But if that is what you just project onto the now, because without that, there can be sadness, for example, there can be an emotion, but why connect it to the mind fart of the past, right? It's just a thought. It's just a belief. It's just made up.
It seems like the end goal is the freedom and the being still and the being freed from all the
All that.
pain and the whole backpack. That's the dream. But we
That's the
kind
dream.
of tell ourselves that someday in the far future, in or because in the clouds, it will have happened and it will happen. So we have to work hard to find that moment
Yeah,
while it's already here and now. Yeah.
exactly.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And in a kind of way, I cannot even say exactly, because how can I say that this is true? And I cannot also say
Mm.
that it's not true. But it seems to be very true, but I cannot even say it. Yet, there is something here that feels so free, it feels so peaceful, and all of it doesn't make any sense to me anymore because it was all an idea. just a made
Hmm.
up thought. And I believed them, and that's why I created that reality, it seemed like. But now, I'm free from all of that. And even that is saying too
And if
much.
you, yeah, and if you look at or think about, if you must think sometimes or keep things in mind or pictures show up of pain from the past, how do you respond to that now? Or people like people you had a crush on, or you like you're a bit
Yeah. You mean a
who
trigger, right?
hurt you? Yeah, trigger. Yeah.
Triggers,
How do
yeah.
you do that?
So
Yeah.
the whole word, the whole concept of a trigger involves the past.
Yeah, totally. Then it's all there, all again. Yeah. What do you do?
It seems to be all here now, and and it can feel heavy, and it can
Mm-hmm.
feel. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the only reason why I can access that is through made up thoughts. So what is here between thoughts and no thoughts?
Okay.
And here there can be water coming out of my eyes. And I'm not even saying sadness, because sadness is already a concept that could involve feeling whatever, like the past, like going to that could involve. And I'm not talking about spiritual bypass here, because spiritual bypass is suppressing. And I'm not talking about suppressing anything, but I'm also not talking about the other side of the spiritual development and healing movement, about having to welcome anything. Because that is also just a belief that you have to welcome anything, and it could be an unconscious belief that you have to suppress anything. But in this now, can be here, can be anything. It's just here. It's just like being a baby.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm speaking about, for you, for me, and for anyone in the world, it's in a sense it's not new, because there has been a moment before language. And I know that right now I'm going to the past, but whatever words, right? There has been a moment before language where it was like this. There was no past and there was no future. It was just experiencing, like you said in the beginning, right? It's just experiencing what is here. No having to welcome, no having to suppress, whatever. That's just an
Mm-hmm.
idea. There just is. And that is way more light and way more alive to me than this that happened with my father. That's why I'm crying now. Or that's what I have to heal, what I have to dig out, or whatever, right? You feel the heaviness of that? Like, it's not here now. There can be sadness here now, but the whole projection on that is just a mind fart. How does it feel for you?
Difficult.
Hmm?
Difficult.
Difficult. Yeah,
That's difficult. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Also feels a bit like a bit too easy.
Yeah. We believe in complications
Yes.
because it has always
Yes.
been like this, right?
Yeah.
And how can this be
Yeah.
it if it's so, like, it's almost like we expect fireworks, right? There has to be something in the future that is grand, or that is like enlightenment, right? It's like, seems like it's almost impossible to realize. But also, like, if you're there, it's like everything is bliss or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's really like sobering up? Like, Like we're not an alcoholic, but a thoughtaholic here, and we believe the thoughts, right? We just like we took another shot of that. More thoughts, right? And we were just drunk on thoughts. And then you know what happens when you stop with alcohol? If you're an alcoholic, then you gotta sober up, right? And yeah, a very similar thing happened also with me. Like at moments it was like both full and empty at the same time, and I was like, wow, just silent here and just like in the wow of all, like because everything becomes so clear, right? And it's like, and at moments it's also like it kind of feels like empty in a way, like because I was so used to to the rest of all the years, right? Of being a thoughtaholic. How can it be this simple? How can it be? And that's just another thought, and it's all just another thought because everything we can talk about here is just another thought connected to a belief, a concept, an idea. And what if we take away all of those, right? What is in between a thought and no thought? I don't even know. And I don't even know if everything I said here is true. Don't take my words for it, right? Like because of the joy of using words and the joy of giving a session like this, I'm doing this because it seems to be really freeing people. And it not just seems like I've had people say like, wow, I'm people in difficult situations. I've had a woman who said like, well, I'm I'm looking forward to she has cancer and she's okay with me sharing about it, right? So and she says like I'm looking forward to the whole process and what I have to go through about like what it will bring me. Like the whole perspective changed. There's a lightness with her now. It's like whatever. And of course the what it will bring me is like also in the future in that sense, but there's a lightness, right? There's a lightness because there's something untouched by all of this.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And everything I can say is just a word. We might as well be silent. Also,
It feels like that, right? Like words fall away. What's there then? Then it's silence and just sharing this. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, right.
Mm.
Yeah.
at the other window, what I'm what I'm looking at, I see the trees, and it feels like I'm stepping into their world. And that reminds me, it's a memory from the past that I once was walking through a lane of huge 400 years old trees, right? They were so big. And I realized they were here 400 years ago. They have seen people with cages and horses and all kind of clothing, whatever was in fashion, being busy, walking here, doing this, doing the thing, minding their thing, making themselves busy with whatever. How must that have been for them to just stand there and see all that busyness, right? It feels like I step into that world now, and not from high up in my tree looking down, but like in that world, seeing all that busyness and like, but why? Why all this busyness?
Yeah. Why all this busyness? Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about busyness, I just want to check in with you. Like, if you have a max, like an end time, just let me know, right?
Okay.
Because I have the next. I still have some time before the next. So
Okay, good. Yeah. But I think we're coming to some natural end. There's a lot for me to ponder on. And then at the same time, I just sent my mind back to its Emma. Like,
you
no
set your
worries.
mind back
Just yeah, to his to its hammock. Like,
to its
no
hammock.
worries.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
chill out. Yeah. You
yeah,
don't need to figure this out. It's just
yeah,
step into this
yeah.
as much as you can, many times. And then at some point stay there probably.
And Marilyn, what if you don't even have to step into it, right? Because that's also just a belief. That's also just a concept that, oh, I have to now step into it, or like in a spiritual scene, also like, yeah, the me has to fall away, right? and and all of these ideas, what you need to do for it. But what if there's nothing to do? And in practical life, there are things you want to do, right? You want to look at, okay, how do I want to like, what do I want to eat tonight, right? That stuff that's still there, right? And the mind will help with that, because it's that's the job, kind of, right?
Hmm.
And yet, what is in between thought and no thought?
Yeah, stepping into it is more figure of speech, and it involves
Yeah,
action. And when
yeah,
you say what's between the thought and no thought, it's like more opening that movement that I was feeling.
yeah,
Like, then things do fall away automatically without you doing
yeah.
anything. Yeah, then
And it
you're
becomes
there. You don't need to go anywhere. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
Sorry.
why should you, in that sense, right? And still, you can be
Mm.
like, oh, I would love to do this, right? I love to do this. So there's a going towards that. There's just a natural flow. Just like a child that plays. There's just a natural flow. There's playing going on, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you can just, it can just be just like that. In adult form, just being however years old. And from that flow, just play. And it can be that there are thoughts, can be that there are no thoughts. It's like, you can make it as relevant and as irrelevant as you want. It can be just like, oh,
Mm.
relevant. And it can be that at moments there's not, there's, it's just empty. It can be as moments that it's like there's a train full coming, and it's like, and you can step onto it or you cannot step onto it. You see the illusion of it, right? You can. There's a clarity here, right? It's like whatever. Do you feel that?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Kitana song. Like you can watch the
Train.
plane, you can still stamp your feet and all that and clap and but
Yeah.
it's just a play. Yeah. Yeah,
Just
like that.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 It is freedom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Cool. And it's coming from the inside and so easy. Like it's just bubbling up. It's there.
There's nothing you have to
Yeah.
do for it, right?
Ooh, exactly.
No. It's just a natural flow.
Mhm.
It's just a natural flow. It's like also with me, I'm just blah blah blah. There's just blah 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 going on. I'm not even in that sense really choosing it. Like it's
Mm.
I chose to have this session, so I there's still a choosing. There's still like I want to do this, and but it's also in the end that's also just the end. That's also an interesting one, right? Because it involves the future in that
Yeah,
sense. But it doesn't really matter like what I do. It's not like oh because before I could have like now I'm doing something I should be doing other things, right? But it's not that's not relevant anymore. It's like
yeah.
yeah, not long ago I've been cleaning staircase houses. That's how they call it in the Netherlands. I've been cleaning staircase houses because my mother has a company of where they of yeah a cleaning company so to say, and I needed help. And before I would be like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like it's just a box in my head, right? It's just a belief, just a. And now when all of that fell away, I'm like, why not? She needs help, and I got time now. Like I'm not at the point that it's like full. My agenda is full. So and maybe it never becomes because I said at the point. I don't even know what will come. But right now there's in that sense space in my agenda. So why not, right? She needs help. I'm like, okay, we'll help. So and it's just wonderful. Like and before I could then if I would have done it, like I could be like, I'm cleaning, I should be doing something else, right? And now I'm just cleaning. I'm like I like it there's in that sense not a difference between doing this and between cleaning. It's as free. This is as free as that is, right?
Yes. Yes.
And yet I love to do this the most. So this is the most in that sense the most natural flow where like I tend to go to like what it's just happening. It's just going this way. So I would like if it's full with this then I say no I'm giving peace of mind sessions. That's just where it's going to, but I there's not even in that sense really a choosing this. It's like there is something beyond choosing, and still I can choose to do some things, and there is a flow that goes even beyond choosing. It's not I cannot even say it's me, because
Mhm.
also me is just a concept. I cannot find me because where is me? So maybe the concept of me was like, pardon, what are you saying? Like I want to have some grip. But anyway, that's just a that's just a bunch of thoughts. The me. There's only a concept. I cannot pinpoint it. I cannot say there is me. I don't know. Yeah. And it's so
And
free to not know. Oh my wow.
yeah, yeah, to just not know. And when I felt the energy, it was like, oh, that was an answer to my question. How can the energy flow more? It can flow more. And the only thing that stops it are the thoughts, actually. They put the energy into another direction or and
Uh-huh.
then keep
Oh,
going, 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 right?
yeah.
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 Wow. That's so cool. I can play with this.
Yeah. And we got to use some kind of language, right? But like if we go into this one, like is there even a you playing or is there just playing happening?
Mm.
Can you say, "Oh yeah, there's me," right?
It's the expression of something in that moment. Yeah, and it can change any moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. I see you give silent sessions in the future, if there is a future. you know,
you know.
just that.
Yeah. Beautiful.
No words at all. Yeah,
No
who
words at all.
knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know the thing is like then it could like it could also it could also become into something like, oh, I am giving the transmission, right? There could be these assumptions coming in, like
Mm,
as if I am whatever people project on me, and then I'm on a pedestal, and
mm.
then it's like
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
person is like
yeah.
could even give his power away, and then I am whatever that is, like that these things happen, right? And it happens all around the
Mm,
world because someone would
yeah.
know, or is the energy master and is like giving you all of that or whatever, right? um like the gurus, the enlightened master, the spiritual teachers, the whatever, right?
Yeah, and these questions people can just take home and work with themselves every time it's needed. That's like
You can always
more gentle.
you can
Yeah,
always ask yourself this
yeah,
question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
can always do
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
I do it myself, like because
yeah.
sometimes there are trains coming in, like I'm like, okay, but what is in between trains and no trains? And I'm like, oh, oh, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And so this thing, right, with the gurus and with the like if people like, oh, but you got it, or like I had a what a session, someone saying like I don't even know what the word was, but like as if in that that is here with me and that there's a sense that is not with the other person, but that is just a belief, just an idea. And yes, it helps to not like if you try to figure it out all from here, then you don't experience it yet. It is there. It's staring all of us in the face all the time, but like you don't seem to experience it. But if they make me the one who knows, then there's one who doesn't know, and there's this pedestal
Mm.
thing going on, and that like doesn't serve, because I don't know. So I'm not the one who knows. I don't know, and if there are two in front of each other here with us, right? We are both in the I don't know because everything is just a thought. So we both don't
Yeah.
know, and in that not knowing, we're equal. There's no, in that sense, essentially no difference. There's no need for the pedestal thing. There's no need for whatever, right? And all the hurt and what all that comes out of that, like the things that happens with the gurus and the spiritual teachers, and it's
Mhm.
because one has the power, seems to have the power, because that one knows. But there's no need for all of that because anyway, who knows, right? It seems to be some, as in before, now not anymore, but before it seemed to be that there was someone who knew, right? And if I only knew, then I would like be free. But
Mhm.
what if nobody knows? They're all just saying a bunch of words. Even the ones that seem like really mystical and really enlightened and really like divine or whatever, right? And yet there is also a sense that like if you're not in that space, if you're just here, then you can say it's pretty divine, but even that is just a concept. And everything they're saying is
Mhm.
also just a concept. It's just
And in that moment, they can let come in something wise, and then the next moment they can let in something bullshitty, right? So that's that's also,
mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
How do you know? That all comes from
Mm-hmm.
here. Even the belief that
Mm-hmm.
one is wise and one is shitty. That
Mm-hmm.
is just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're just words. They're just words. And some can seem very wise. Yeah, I can get that. But that also is like, what is it really? Yeah, yeah. But it's difficult if there's one in the teacher chair, right? Because it like, and the rest is not on the chair, then it's already looks like this, right? Like literally. If I would be physically in front of people, I would love to be. I've always said this. Even before all of this, like there was always like, I want to be in a circle with people because then there is no, that just feels like the most serving position. Just in a circle together, and I'm here with I don't know. And if someone's like, okay, but you, no, no, just blah 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 coming out of me. I'm not. It's not in the words that I say, right? That's the thing. Because with the teachers, it seems like it's in the words, right? It seems like it's in the knowledge. It's in the, they know how to. But what if it's not in the words? Is if it's not in a language? It's what they all also beautifully point to, as in they really. I feel a lot of like good intention, like with many, right? Like they try to point to it, but in the pointing towards it, and it can become, oh, it is the self, or it is the no self, or it is God, or it is awareness, or it is the universe. But then it just becomes a word because it's not that. Because that's just a word. It is maybe all the words and maybe no words. I don't know. But let's point to that space in between, to that I don't know, through the space in between the words. How does that how does that feel for you?
Yeah, I think that's what I always feel with people, what's in between the words.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
already
always
feel
go for
like
that.
ah
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's never words. The words are just like, yeah, that's the words, but what's under that? What's around that? Yeah. So I check that whole concept with people.
oh
Yeah,
I'm glad.
automatically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes it so much more easy because I
Yeah.
chase the words and other people
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some people are hopefully like you because that makes it easier if you don't chase the words.
It does. Because
Yeah.
words can be so beautiful, and then they can lead you towards something, or and don't necessarily have to be true. You know? Yeah.
So what is here now with you?
Mhm. The longing for reflecting on this, playing with it. If I can't step into it, I can just let go of the concepts and be with it and just see how that goes. And I would love to let you know how I'm doing with it.
Let
Yeah.
me know. I would love to.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a playground opening. There's a whole new thing. Yeah, opening whole new possibilities and ways to deal with stuff, with life, with difficulties, with all the things we are so also addicted to. Like we are addicted to problems, I guess, to solve them and to feel we are alive or whatever that thing is. To just not buy into that anymore, to just
Yeah.
open and go in between the thoughts and see what happens then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Because
It's
how
so
is
easy. It's
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, it feels so easy, like wow, problem solved, right? Like because there's no problem. That's not even a problem. It's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the problem in itself,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
just there's now like a clear looking through it, right? It's like you see through the kind of illusion that it holds for you. It was all a mirage in the desert.
Mm.
Looks really real,
Yeah.
but then when you
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
when you're like close, it's like ah, it's just sand.
I'm still thirsty.
I'm still thirsty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And by chasing all the mirages, you just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, beautiful.
Ah,
So
yeah.
enjoy
Thank you.
playing with
Wonderful.
this.
Yeah.
Enjoy like
Yeah.
going with this and or not, right? Whatever.
Or not, even that's an option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And let me know. Yeah,
Yeah, I will. I
yeah.
definitely will.
Mm, all right. So take care, and I'll see you when I see you, and I'll hear you when I hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Ciao. Enjoy.
Thank you. Ciao.